Hello, beautiful, amazing, fantastic, wonderful, beautiful world, and you, individual, just as beautiful. Today, I would like to speak about becoming as flexible with your inner being and faculties as you are with your limbs and body. That is just an example, of course. When you sit completely still, when you sit with your whole body in a certain silent mode, you can grab a hold of your thoughts and your inner emotions and your will to work upon your inner being. You of course need to acknowledge your ego and the Christ, of course, the Christ within you. By working upon yourself, by actively transforming your inner being, slowly but surely, with patience and also with acceptance of yourself. Because when you are actively and steadily and consistently working upon your healing, you are helped along the way. You are given a certain spiritual support that allows you to have a strong resolve, that allows you to be curious, that allows you to be alive in a sense, and brings about a lot of inspiration and musings of life that allows for a deepening, that allows for enlivening of everything we see around us and everything we experience. We see the purpose behind experiences. We see the many lessons that comes from being a human being, paying the karma, and in general sitting still in the silence and see what comes out with an awareness, with an open, gentle and patient awareness. And from the silence, the spiritual speaks. It has to be trained, it has to be found out about, but to even know about these things is why we speak about them, we share our findings and experiences. Because the further we go these days, the more mechanized things become. It's kind of a mechanical disease when you think about it. Everything becomes numbers, everything becomes purpose and meaningless without qualities and personality. Everything is just numbers. So to counteract that, we have a spiritual but clear, concise, creative and concrete reality behind the spiritual. You paint a picture with the outer world and your inner world, and you try to map out what we have. And through this concept, by mapping out, we can grow and deepen ourselves as human beings. That is why I study and deepen and get to understand the world as much as I can. Because I take the essence, the extract of what I have grown and come to understand with me after death. And I don't do this for this life alone. I don't do this for fame, glory and the glittering, and I do it to share my findings like a scientist, taken as an example. And I share it gladly with the public, and I almost expect people to take from me, to take wisdom from me, because this is living wisdom I have already come to a conclusion and to a reality about, and I am just sharing it with you. I'm on to the next next time I see you. Because there are many different areas to strengthen. And we switch from area to area based on the day of the week, the month, the part of the year. Based on specific times of the year, for example, we have different moods, different inclinations and interests, and best feel yourself to see where you are strongest from day to day. We are not go, go, go every day. We are not machines every day doing the same. Based on the zodiac, based on the 12 constellations, and based on the 7 planets, I go from 7 planets, and the sun and the moon, and you switch moods, and your inner behaviors, in a sense, feels different from day to day. Because, well, everything is in a constant change, and once you become aware of it, is where you, well, grab a hold of the human being, and where you can cultivate and grow from human life, between birth and death. And then we keep going. There is no end to this, you see. There is only cosmic cycles, and when one cosmic cycle is finished, everything goes back to the spiritual, and we sleep for a while. And then we start again. That is how it's been always. And that is how we are starting more and more to reflect in the physical world too. Sleeping part of the day and then awake. And this is only for a little while that we have this physical form. We will over time spiritualize ourselves. Of course, we will leave behind what we do not anymore, what we cannot transform anymore. It will be kind of the dross of what we had. We shed our skin, and the skin will be left behind. That is the stagnation. That is where, well, debauchery and laziness and don't want to do anything, and it's kind of literally hell. The eighth sphere, as Rudolf Steiner called it. And you can see this living picture of cosmos and where we are going, where we come from, where what we were like in earlier civilizations, and where we kind of are going. Musing about these things allows for insight, but it has to be sincere, as I say, and we have to acknowledge the spiritual world, the Christ, the Holy Spirit, God. And once we do, you give the proper respect. And when you are giving respect, you are given wisdom and knowledge. It is pretty. If you go around and just go to a stranger and just say, hey, teach me about this, do you think they would? Nah. It is the same with the spiritual world. With honor, respect, not making fun of it, not having that feeling of shame in any kind. It is a feeling of truly taking this seriously and speak with them and be in communion with them, and they give you extremely good advices. They know, and you know when you do something that is not becoming of a human being. You know when you are doing good. You are giving yourself strength and self-confidence and such when you are doing good. It doesn't come from nowhere. These kinds of things are graces and certain strengths you are given based on how hard you work on the spiritual, how hard you work on things that is really needed in these ages, in this time, in this presence. So it's important that you deepen yourself, getting to know yourself as an individual. For the more you individualize yourself, becoming a personality, a spiritualized personality that works with the divine world, you become and are working with the spirits of personality. They are above the archangels, and you are working with them as beings. You're working for the whole world, not only for a country, not only for a culture, not only for a little group. It is for all. Then that is where you work for the work with the archai, a personality of this age. You are a concentration, a crystallization personality of this age, and you try to embody it as much as possible, and show others where we are, and give inspiration to others, to give them a little oomph, a little, hey, I want to find out about this myself. Study Rudolf Steiner. It is my recommendation to you. To really sit here and grab a hold of what a human being is requires, as I said, silence and discipline, but also gentle love and care. It is like a father and a mother to a child. You are the child, but you are also the father and the mother. So you are in balance with these three in a sense. And the more love and care you put into it, the more realistically in the spiritual, in the divine it is. It is not a shadow picture, a mockery, a twisting of the true spiritual trinity in a sense. It is truly love, care, what we embody as human beings based on our reproduction and such, father, mother and child and so on. We have that within us as individual human beings. That is why when you see a human being and feel that he has it very good with himself, he loves and are grateful for his life, then many people might assume that he is married, has a good family or wife and life, but that is not the case. It is not because he is loved by anyone else. It is because he loves himself and have accepted himself, herself, itself, you get my drift. And do not search and seek that love from anything else but the divine God, Christ. That is where you truly are given the inspiration and creativity and warmth that is needed for humankind to grow like flowers. It is the inner sun. That is just about it. Thank you, everyone. I love you so much. May you find your beautiful path, and may you be guided and be grateful for life, and don't take it for granted, and let yourself be a little creative and courageous. Love you all. Thank you. Goodbye.